You worry less about your insurance costs. You buy a car that costs 50, 60 grand brand new, the insurance is high because if it gets stolen, they gotta pay for it. You buy a car that's a cheap car, you don't have to worry about high insurance rates. And realize if you buy an expensive car, you gotta try to find the perfect car for all your needs. A lot of times, there is no perfect vehicle. Take, for example, you wanna haul some stuff around. Maybe you want a pickup truck, but you don't want to drive it around all the time. Well, buy a cheap one. You can use it when you need to haul stuff, like my son does, outside of Boston. I gave him a Toyota Tacoma. It was old, rusty, but he's still driving it. Years and years later, you might not want to use it all the time, but if you're buying cheap cars, you can buy more than one. And maybe you need to make a commute to work. You can buy an old Toyota Corolla or a Honda Civic and use that for your just knock-around car. You don't need to spend a small fortune trying to figure out the right vehicle and then find out one of them does not fit everything you want. And of course, one big advantage of cheaper cars, if you pick the right ones, the parts are cheaper because when they get older, the aftermarket will start making parts for them. Instead of you got a car that's a year or two old, you got to buy an expensive part, you can get parts from all over the place for a fraction of what the new ones cost. Now here, of course, you want to stick to common cars that are very popular in your area. Then you can get parts for them. I'm not a Volkswagen fan. I personally can't stand the things anymore. But in Europe, they're real big and you can get parts for them and people can fix them. So buying a cheap used Volkswagen, good idea in Europe, even though not might be a good idea in the United States. And of course, another advantage of a cheaper car is parking is easy. You're not worried. I have had many customers, some of them were friends, I got to dinner with them, they drive in their BMW and they'd have to park away from people, but they want to park where they can still see the car from the restaurant window and they're always looking out the car to make sure nobody was running into it. You got a cheap car with dings in it, you're not gonna be worrying about that stuff. And of course, the biggest advantage of buying a cheaper car is you don't have any monthly payments.